All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's the semi-finals of the Esports World Cup. Serral in the top right side representing Basilisk, a player who's coming in who did not win last year. He fell out in a very one-sided series. But guess what? The guy that took him out is no longer in the tournament. And this man has just survived a very narrow scrape with death. A very narrow, very close scrape with death in the quarterfinals. But he did manage to come out on top. And now he finds himself in a matchup which he's much more favored in. In the bottom left side, the underdog in this series, a player who made it to the grand finals in Riyadh back in 2023, before it was the Esports World Cup, back when it was Gamers 8. It is Cure. He did end up losing, I believe it was 2-4 to Raynor 2 years earlier. But now he's playing a different Basilisk Zerg in the semi-finals. He wants that spot in the finals. Now, if you look at their head-to-head results, it is a very bleak outlook for Cure. We're not going to mince words. 90% win rate for Serral. Serral dropped. He did go 1-1 with Cure a year ago in the World Team League. So that's one thing, one map each. But the only times Cure's won actual series against Serral, rather than just drawing in a couple of games, it was a best of 5. He 3-0'd Serral in an online tournament, the King of Battles in 2020. And he beat him 4-1 in TSL 7 a year later in 2021. And that was a time back when, Serral was struggling with Raynor and struggling pretty hard against Rogue. There's a bunch of players who were smashing Serral around back then. Apparently, he really didn't like the kind of COVID era. He did not like being in lockdown, apparently. And I think, he did say himself that he prefers competing at big live tournaments rather than online. He performs his best at live tournaments, whereas he feels like other players do kind of go down in performance and panic a little bit. But Cure was able to take him down a few times back in that era. I can't quite remember what happened in the games. I mean, it's a completely different age and different meta, different balance and whatnot, maps as well. But more recently, there is hope. Because in Pigfest earlier this year, what was it, 4 months ago or something like that, Cure played him in the group stage and actually should have won 2-1. Serral barely survived and made a comeback on Torches because he had a hidden base in the top left corner of the map. That's right, on Torches, he took Cure's corner base and Cure just never found it. And Cure was so busy pushing down the right side of Torches, through the rocks and stuff, that he just never realized it was there. And Serral barely beat him. Like, the whole map basically mined out. It came down to almost no resources left. And it was actually an amazing performance from Cure, which was kind of tragic because it was so rare for a player to take the opponent's corner base. But it was reminiscent of Serral versus Clem on, what was that really small map we played where, in the previous map pool, or 2 map pools ago, there was a really tiny map where it was top left, top right spawn. I remember that one. Oh, actually, it was against Oliveira back in Dallas in 2024, where Serral took the corner base of Oliveira. And even though it was like an action-packed war, he was mining Oliveira's corner from very early. It's kind of funny. Serral is the best player on those smaller maps with limited bases at realizing, hey, if this drags on, I need to start mining your side of the map out from very early on. Now let's talk about these build orders, guys. So far, standard Reaper opening for Cure. He has gone for a 3rd command center, and it's going to be Hellion Banshee behind it. Super standard play. Nothing untoward. And Serral, he's going for a link speed. He's done a hatch gas pool here off that early extractor trick. He's going a 4th and 5th queen, starting just before 3 minutes 30. He's got 2 mineral lines already up and mining. Back on gas in the main just now. And he's going to rally to that 3rd base. This is textbook. Super textbook, super standard. Overlord pokes in, sees the Overlord, sees the 3rd command center. Cure doesn't even know the 3rd command center is being scouted. So that is a risk-free scout. And this sort of detail with the Overlord, these are the little things. Most players send the Overlord through and just lose it. Serral, he confirms it's 3rd command center. The question is, does he know it's Banshees? Because he's gone link speed. He's going to go Roach Warren as well. Very safe way to play the Roach Warren. Does kind of shut down any Hellbat timings and the like. I have performance issues when others watch me live, says Dillo in the chat, our top tier Mecha villain player. Well, certain pros have that as well. Some guys are like Serral out there. They've got an audience. They stand up tall and strong. There's absolutely no shame. They actually stand taller and straighter and more turgid, more solid, more vascular than ever. But some of us, we wilt under the pressure. I'd say I'm a bit more of a wilter. You guys can let me know in the comments if you're someone who gets more excited when you've got an audience playing StarCraft, because that's definitely what we're talking about, or if you wilt under the pressure like me and sometimes Cure in the past and other players. I actually don't think Cure really wilts under pressure. I think Cure delivers a very similar level at LAN as to online. I would say players who do, like, who really underperforms at LAN? I mean, it's got to be Beyond, of course, in recent years. I know there's that whole wrist issue that's semi-psychological. There's like he just tenses up too much under the stress. Is my very, very detailed physiological analyses based off of no physical examination, but just the fact that it doesn't affect him at all when he's off camera at home. And if he's at home and then he turns his camera on, his wrist starts hurting, which to me is like, okay, clearly you're tensing up a lot. All right, double Evo Chambers going down at about 515, 520. 0 damage, man. It's like, what, 1 Overlord, 1 Zergling. Did end up skipping Spores. Oh. Oh, because he realized it was just a Cloakless Banshee with the Scout or the Overlord, eh? Ah, so he didn't even build Spores. Guys, that's a big corner to cut in a game like this. And he's only got 6 queens. Holy moly, the greed. Guys, it's 6 minutes. He's got 75 drones. 1-1 upgrades at a good timing. Insanely fast infestation pit. Roach speed 3/4 of the way done. Oh my lord. Guys, Kua might be dead. He's going to drop 3 more barracks in a moment because that's what Kua does every game. He always 3-raxes. He doesn't do any other strategies. He's going to build 3 barracks right now. He's even standing there. He's not even going to hide it from the Overseer. The Overseer's in his base. He doesn't even care. He builds them in. Everyone knows it. Kua does an 8-rax every single game. The problem is, he's going to be running into Vipers and just an immense amount of units. Serral's just adding like 1 or 2 drones at a time. He's taking a 7th gas here because he really wants those Vipers, the adrenal glands, as well as to have a bit of extra gas to make Ravages to potentially buy all the siege tanks. Dude, Serral's opening is... like, I cannot emphasize, guys. Only 6 queens, so he's saved 450 minerals on the queens. Not only that, the 3 spore crawlers is 225 minerals plus the 3 drones that he keeps alive. You might think these things are small. 3 extra drones, and then all those minerals from as early as about 4 minutes into the game is massive. Yes, he had to build safety roaches because he did a roach opening, so it's kind of standard to be lower on queens. But the fact that his creep is so methodical as well. And I really want to watch his creep, actually. Like once does he settle into a rhythm where he does it all at once and goes across the entire front? Or does he just do it haphazardly? Serral is one of the more organized players. Does lose a queen out front. Okay, first real incursion. Pushing that creep back in the middle, which is where he's going to want to push later. Hive's already almost done. Terran's 8-racks are getting tech labs right now. He's just built tech labs, so he's going to go concussive and marauders. It's going to be a big 2-2 marauder marine tank push. Queens do come forward, top left base mining really nicely. Creep's so good out here. He's replenished a tumor in the middle. I'm surprised Serral's in the center. I'm surprised he's not out here forward off creep dominating, just because I feel like he should control this space to get creep past the bridge. Because he gives up the territory, he's kind of letting Kua deny the creep a little more than I thought he would want to. Going to send some lings around the right side. Oh, he's already getting ready. He knows that push is going to come really soon. Adrenal glands is on the way. He's not going for... oh my gosh, he's already got the Vipers out. Oh man, dude, blinding clouds on these tanks. Not to mention a big ling run by up the ramp. Dude, Serral is 2 steps ahead right now. That being said, Kua has a surprising amount of power behind this push. I tell you, he's really good with this push. Those Marauders are very tanky. The Hellbats, none of his Hellions died. They all survived. They're all mixed in there. But he's got to raise the wall. He's got to raise the wall. No, Kua doesn't get the wall up, which means these 1-1 Zerglings are in with a vengeance. He does pull back to the ramp really nicely. And actually, that's pretty good handling by Kua, one must say. Queen does go down in the front. Those SCVs do evacuate. Serral, though, keeping his opponent really busy. And he's got to get ready for this engagement. He's not quite set up with his army for now. Oh, the lings are getting cornered. Oh, those lings actually stuck in there. They're going to have to turn and fight. More lings are going to come in now. The tank actually does a bit of friendly fire. Serral, he's going to give up this base. I love that he expanded to the top left. So many players take this base on the right, and then they can't give this base up because then they lose their 4th and their 5th. Instead, he just says, I can give that up and just take the top left and focus on counterattacking. Lings are going to come in from behind. He's going to go for it. Serral goes for it. Beautiful blinding cloud there. 2 of the tanks in the back are on siege. That's so unfortunate for Kua right now. And he does take out the tanks and he just withdraws. Serral not overcommitting. He could now pivot because he's got Kua's attention. He cleared the front tanks. He could send his lings for a counterattack again, or he could just go for another wave knowing that Kua's going to try to shove forward, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Abducts the siege tank. It does go down. Viper's doing such an excellent job as the Banelings crash forwards. There's so many Ravagers, 11 Ravagers. He even gets a medevac with the Bile Spray. Serral spray and praying from the hip there with those Ravagers. He's absolutely not lining up the crosshair with those Ravagers. Some people, they line up the crosshair, they stand there, they're just aiming at that corner for 5 minutes until they get that headshot. Serral's like, mate, I have 11 Ravagers. I don't need to do that. He literally can just run around the corner screaming and spraying from the hip and hoping some of those bullets do indeed land. Hatchery goes up on the right side as well. Top left side is there. 6 more drones coming in. Some could argue that's a bit greedy, but it's got +3 carapace as well. +2 melee is also finishing. So this is really nice on the upgrade front. Creep's getting pushed back. He hasn't really had a chance to respread Creep in the middle, which is one big weakness for Serral. Does need parasitic bombs to start wearing on these medevacs, but the medevacs just barely get out of dodge. Now the army's still very basic Lingbane Ravager, but I don't think Serral feels he's like too urgently needing anything else. He remaxes on Lingbane Ravager, then he makes the Ultra Cavern and the +3 melee, but it's not a super big priority because he knows with the Vipers he can do really well. Now, how many Queens has he got? Only 4. He's going to start respreading Creep. Kind of desperately needs that. As long as his Creep on the flanks keeps moving out, though, I think he's in a very well-situated position. This base never died. This one's going back up on the right side for base number 6. Kua never even built a 4th command center. Normally he transitions behind, but he's playing this a bit more all-in. He does have a big army supply. Units lost type's going to matter, but so far Serral keeping it very even in the units lost. Overall efficiency. Okay, that triple drop does pick up. Over on the right side, mostly Marauders here. Oh my gosh, those Marines. Oh, the Marauders actually tank those. But nonetheless, there's enough Roachling Bane to clean it up. And Serral, I think he's so happy with this unit trading because he's just got the numbers in the right position at the right time. Spellcasters to support. And this is the efficiency that makes Serral different to every other Zerg. Now, don't get me wrong, he had a good start. He had a really good start. He realized that Kua was focusing on hitting a nice, efficient build order rather than disrupting the Zerg. And as a result, Serral took advantage of that. And he had a very amazing start. But now, you see as the game drags on, I look at this work account and I think, man, even without a 4th, he could like lift the main over. Sometimes Terran wins these games because they've just got a bigger army supply and a lesser work account and their efficiency is so much greater. Then I look at the units lost tab and I'm like, dude, this seems almost hopeless. If you can't outtrade Serral when he's just playing Lingbane Ravager, like, your army's meant to be better here, but we've got 3 upgrades coming in at the same time for both sides. Serral doing a really good job with just small tactical counterattacks. Yes, these roaches do almost nothing. He gets like 1 Marine for 6-7 roaches. Medevacs are good. But I think he's very happy to trade those out because those roaches almost useless now. So replacing those with Lingbane's much more supply efficient units, exactly what Serral needs to do. And he's waiting for the opportunity. Look at this surround. He really wants Kua to come a bit too far forward because he's got a giant spready, guys. Units placed on all sides. Serral's looking for that opportunity. He even takes out a Widow Mine before the fight even starts. Here we go. He's going for it. Serral coming in from all sides. Amazing setup on this engagement. Blinding Cloud does go down on the tank up front. Can he get another Blinding Cloud? He puts Blinding Clouds on the bridges, making the bio kind of bug out a little bit as they run forward into the Zerg units. But you know what? Kua actually getting through here, dude. That was actually a really good fight for Kua. Look at that. He's had 2,000 in the resources lost now. The Ravager's starting to get chewed through by those Marauders. There's no Fungal. If he had Fungal to catch the bio and stop it microing, maybe. He's only got 2 Vipers. The Ultras aren't here yet. And there's actually so many Marauders. Oh my gosh. Kua, he has an opportunity. He gets a hatchery right now. Good starter step. I think Kua needs to pull back though. I know it's kind of cool he's got a position, but I think he needs to pull back and use that supply again. If these Ultras get out and another good fight happens on him, he could be in trouble. He's going to keep pushing forwards. Army supply very close between the two. That Lingbane Ultra Reinforce is almost here. Serral's going to go in before it's ready. Is it a bit too early to pull the trigger for Serral? It just might be. One of his Vipers does get taken out by the Marines on the right side, but there's no siege tanks anymore. The Widow Mine count relatively low here. The Widow Mine's unable to detonate because Serral manually grabbed a few Banelings and he detonated them on top before those Widow Mines could fire. Intelligent moves for Serral, not letting anything getting going for Kua. Liberator can't really siege because there are Ravagers nearby. The moment you siege, you know he's going to target those with Corrosive Bile, and it does look like Serral's able to push this entire army back. Really nice play there by Serral. Kua's lifted his... actually, he's built a 4th base now, so he does have a bit more income. Serral did lose a hatchery. Does it matter? No. He's got that base and this base on the right side. Range weapons and those Infestors coming in. The moment you land Fungal on these Marauders, it'll be lights out. Honestly, it might be lights out before then. Serral has had an excellent opening. I tell you, man, if you let Serral get away with an opening like this, he is so good at the little adjustments. It's the little details. So I really want to emphasize this. I wish I had a side-by-side comparison. I could probably, if I dig for enough games and do enough research, someone could probably find a game where Kua does this exact same build against like Raynor, Solar, Rogue, any other top Zerg, and they kind of play a bit more standard. They build the spores, they play a bit safer. They just don't end up with such a lead and such momentum that Serral had, but that is the intelligent adjustments that Serral makes based on how his opponent's playing the game. Lingbane Ultra comes in, gets 5 SCVs, doesn't want to overcommit though, and that is absolutely the correct call. His Infestors are sharking their way in. Liberator in the top left side is going to go down to those Queens. Yes, it does. Sporecrawler pushes the other one back as well. Army's coming forwards though. Fungal comes in from the right side. Vipers do need to throw out that Parasitic Bomb, and indeed they do. Medivacs taking some good damage. I love those Parasitic Bombs just slowly wearing on the Medivacs. Corruptors would of course be the final beautiful cherry on top of the cake here. Another Parasitic Bomb does go down. The Ultra Ling Ravager Baneling rolling forwards. And that Liberator's going to fall. Ultra's chasing up the ramp, not able to close the distance, but one good Fungal will spell lights out. Main base is lifted out to the new 4th base, as the original 4th base did go down. Kua hanging on, but he just doesn't have any agency in this game. He is overrun, overwhelmed, and we're going to see Serral push in for the finish. One good Fungal could finish this. And there we go! That's the Fungal we're talking about. Big Juicy, landing in the middle. Yes, Corrosive Vial takes out his own Ultra, but it was already deep in the red anyway. Kua doing a really good job of just surviving right now, but yeah, he realizes, look, this is hopeless, man. Down 100 supply, and Serral with an excellent greedy opening into a fantastically measured set of both counterattacks and big surrounds with Blinding Clouds, wins game 1. All right, guys, Kua in the top left side of the map. He had a nice, efficient build order where he just kind of methodically macroed, did it really well, and still, some of those fights were not too bad for him, but at the end of the day, man, Serral, just a bit too strong. Someone in chat was saying, well, I thought Serral was so well set up. What happened to that one fight where he did lose the fight? Now, keep in mind, lose is relative. That was a bad fight for him. A little worse than the standard ZVT fight, but most players' ZVT engagements kind of just look like that. Or pretty close to that, always. But compared to his previous engagements and stuff, essentially there was just so many Marauders in the front that the Ling Bane just... the whole Zerg army gets slowed. The Marauders are so tanky. There were so many Medivacs in there healing. And the Marines just stand behind it and gun down all the Ling Bane off creep before they really connect. So Marine Marauder just does really well as the numbers get high against just like Ling Bane Ravager. You know, especially when you've got a bigger army supply, which he did have at that moment. So that fight was pretty good if you're completely on creep. Remember, the creep was receded. If you're completely on creep, the Zerg can fight better. Or if the Zerg completely wraps around the army, and that way the Banes can actually connect with the Marines, then the Marauders don't have enough damage to make it happen. But Serral didn't get a complete wraparound, didn't have any creep, because the first fights had already cleared the creep. And then also the Marauder count was getting a bit out of control. So it was a scary moment, but, you know, yeah, Serral traded a few thousand resources worse there. But he'd built enough of a buffer for himself that he was able to weather it. Command Center goes down. He's going to SCV scout. That's interesting. I mean, you can use the SCV to block the third hatchery going down in an optimal location. Some players, if they see that SCV with the Overlord, which Serral did, they'll send a drone out straight away just to make sure they get the third on location. And there is a build order where you actually build the third hatchery straight away, and then you delay one of your queens to account for that. But much more standard play for Serral. 2 queens, 4 Zerglings. I think he's even going to go Ling speed before third hatchery, as he hasn't pulled off the gas. He might be expecting more of a 2 barracks build, but he sees no barracks in the wall off. And Ling speed, not started just yet. Drone is trying to go around. Notice he's hiding it here. Oh, that's interesting. Ah, okay, so he's hiding the drone. Now he sees the Reaper come in, and the drone is going to start attacking the SCV. And as the Reaper runs over, he's got to go hide that on the gas. Nice play. And you can send a drone out to the other side. So I always would send the Lings across the map during that. And at my level, that works really well because, you know, I'm bad. Because while the Reaper goes left, your Lings go right. And you're like, hey, deal with this. And then your drone can come out and fight the SCV. But Q is a much better player than the ones I normally play against. And he's going to force Serral to send the queens out. Now, Serral's built drones. He's built 3rd and 4th queen and 2 overlords. He has a little supply booked. I do think those overlords maybe could have been slightly earlier. You can see he's actually got he doesn't have any lava. So this is actually, no, this is perfect. As long as you keep spending your money correctly, which is exactly what Serral does here, then it's A-okay. Hatchery goes down. Kua there looking for the block again. It does get delayed till after 3 minutes, but as long as Serral spends his money well and he's got 4 queens out, it's totally fine. He's also hidden 4 Zerglings. So often what Terran will do is send the first 2 Hellions across the map, and then the other Hellions will stay at home, especially with Cure, who's an incredibly defensive and safe Terran, where he'll often always leave Hellions at home. But I think the first two almost certainly move across the map. That's just standard, and that will give an opportunity. Then again, Link Speed's not done. It's not even started. He's playing for a Roach Warren. And yeah, this is something I've noticed. So a lot of the time when I play a Terran who's a lot better than me in one of these like online tournaments, their Hellions just dive across the map, and then you could just run in with like Ling Bane or something like that. And sometimes you catch them off even though they're way better than you. Cure, you can see there's no downtime. He moves out, and then it's only because the new Hellions were almost ready. Serral gets 1 SCV, which honestly is better than I expected. His Cure's Hellions were so well timed. Banshee's coming in behind it, so Banshee into Cloak, more Hellions as well. There was an Evo Chamber and a Roach Warren. Interesting building placement, guys. I think you can squeeze drones through that wall, but Hellions can't get in. Bit of an odd choice with the building placement here. Layers on the way. We'll definitely see an early Carapace upgrade. Oh, yeah. And as you can see, he can't get in. Very nicely done. And the few drones that were already on the 30 just turns into buildings. Evo Chamber cancels. Carapace starts. These two Extractors cancel. And I think a Hellion went down. The other ones took a little bit of damage. Nice play for Serral. 4 Roaches are building to secure this third. He's still up 15 workers despite the early harassment. And Cure goes for a very standard follow-up. I mean, this is just so textbook. Second and third barracks. Gets the third gas down. The reason he has to go third gas is because he played Cloaked Banshee. Comes in with a Hellion dive. Takes a peppering from the Queens, but the drones just have to transfer away and they go straight back to mining. There is mining time being lost. Serral's not able to mine as freely as he would like. And you know what, guys? He skipped the Spore again. He got away with it last game. Uh-oh. His layer's done, but he hasn't started morphing an Overseer yet. Luckily for him, the Banshee's Cloak isn't done for another 10 seconds. Cancels the Spore. Gets the Banshee. Oh no, Cure. I'm pretty sure he could have clicked that further into the corner. That's unfortunate, because his Cloak is finished. Needs to go punish the fact that Serral's been so greedy. He doesn't have any Spore Crawlers. He's only got 1 Overseer, and it's on the other side of the map. I think Serral thinks there's no Cloak now. So actually, if this Banshee goes in, he might be able to kill 5 or 6 drones. Maybe even 8 drones before they realize what's happening. 4th and 5th barracks is on the way. Of course, the double upgrades are coming in on the engineering bay there. Quick 4 gas to make up for that Cloak expenditure. But already Infestation Pit before 6 minutes once again. Expect a second Evo any moment now. And I think he'll skip range upgrades and just go straight melee. Already at 70 drones. I know it was 75 in the last game, but this still is exceptional macro. 9 more drones coming out. It's just past 6 minutes, and he's like, lol, I've got economy. Second Evo goes down. Bailey Nest goes down. Banshee's going to come in from this side, but he sees it coming a mile away. And the Banshees don't find anything. Serral is just such a different level of early games EVT, and if you're not able to create some chaos, it feels like, oh, damn. But also, I mean, he's so good at defending the chaotic moves. It's like, I mean, Cure, we know Cure's going to 8-racks, and this is one of the problems, is Cure has found a spot in TVZ where he 8-racks every single game, or like 9 out of 10, and he's making it work versus everyone, except can he make it work against a Serral or like a Raynor who's in top tier ZVT form right now? Where like I don't think Maru would have confidence against Raynor's bio, which is why he played Mech earlier in the tournament and did very well with it, right? I think we're just going to see 3 more barracks, though. I don't think he has any other play. And that is an incredibly committed 3-base push. 3 more barracks do go down. He could push a bit earlier. Don't build the add-ons and just build Marines if he wants to do a faster push. I don't think that's likely. I think generally the counter to the Roaches into the Banelings is to go heavy Marauder. But as we've seen, Serral's early Vipers are what allows him to defend these pushes so nicely. Double Drop does sneak down the right side. Serral actually surprisingly missing the Creep Tumor in the main. Normally you have a Creep Tumor there and you spread it around the edges. Just gives you lots of movement around your base as well as lots of vision. Yeah, nice Overlord snipe there. Could be good. Serral's Overlord should have been a little bit more off to the dead space. 4 more Overlords building. Oh, Serral a little supply blocked here, actually. I'd like to see him build about 5 more just to make sure he never gets supply blocked again in this game. And Cure finding some value. Hello. Gets himself a Queen. Gets himself a couple Creep Tumors, though. It's not like he stops the Creep or anything like that. The slow Zergling's ready to receive the drop. And 3 Vipers do now start up. But it feels like Serral's having he's having himself disrupted just a little bit more this game. Where those Vipers are definitely later. I think they were out by this point in the previous one. And there's a quicker 4th command center. So even though he does play 8-racks into Tech Labs, he pauses unit production to get the 4th command center. So Q is willing to play a slightly longer game here. And I think he's gonna hunt for efficiency a little bit more in his engagements, which after the last game and how the early trades went, that makes sense. It's when he's maxed out and before there's like infestors or corruptors. I think those are the points in the game where Cua's army should actually trade very well. Obviously, ultras could be problematic for him, but I think because his marauder count's going to be so high, especially if he adds a few libs, he should be okay against that. Actually, I really wonder how many medevacs are we at? Oh, we're only at 4 medevacs? Oh, yeah, he needs to get up to 8 medevacs. Pig push going down. Did I say pig? Big push going down the right side of the map. Adrenal glands coming in, +3 carapace, +2 melee. And the wings are there, they see it, but oh, Serral a little slow to react right now. He's only got 16 speed banes in his entire army, and he can't really flank this. He might have to just give up this 5th base. I mean, these tanks are in a delicious position. Vipers, though. Oh, he's got 3 Blinding Clouds ready. Blinding Clouds all over those tanks. The Link Bane, the Banelings rolling into the Marine and held out on the right side is excellent. Can he get rid of the tanks, though? Is one of the questions that I have. Biles do land on nothing, but there's just so much Zerg on the dance floor, and as I said, I think he, especially with him powering and cutting unit production to build command centers, I don't think that push timing made a lot of sense on paper because he weakened this push from the previous game by setting up this. I think he basically made a bit of a gamble that this position was so good for him that Serral wouldn't fight into it. He could deny a base and then he could run home, group up, and then force fights with a maxed out army. Huge problem. Serral had 3 Vipers ready, just blinding clouded the tanks and went for it and shut him down. 2-2 upgrades are now kicking in for Cure, but of course +2 carapace is already done for Serral. Widow Mines don't really find the big hits that he was looking for, and Serral now with a big Link Bane counterattack. He could take out this 4th command center. This is a big part of Cure's play right now. Big part of Cure's play is going to run the SCVs. There's just too many Banes coming in. Banes are going to crash into it, as will the Zerglings with the surround. That base goes down. Cure back to 3. Vipers coming forwards on the right side. Blinding Cloud on the bio, not too bad. He's got the Overseers there, so he does actually see these Widow Mines, doesn't let them burrow. Army comes in the left side, and a couple Queens go down. Link Bane continuing to roll forwards. I don't think that Widow Mine, ooh, does actually take out the Banes, and the Banes try to split, but they accidentally misclick on the depot. Lovely fungal on that left side, but he needs a lot more Zerglings and Banelings to try and shut it down. Serral F2ing a little bit. Ooh, Cure actually getting some mistakes out of Serral. Guys, Serral's floating money right now. He has no lava. He's been missing injects as well. Dude, Serral's reeling a little bit. Yes, he defends the left side with the Roach Ravager, but he's actually way down on army supply. He's floating 2k minerals. He loses a hatchery right now. Cure making this game a little bit messy, and he's finding a moment of weakness. Serral is going to be very upset with himself right now. He sent a big army across the map. He didn't build any macro hatcheries this game, and that's fine if you hit your perfect injects, but he has not been hitting perfect injects. A bunch of his Queens have gone down. The Ravagers will eventually deal with this army, but that means it's an easy redrop on the low ground to cancel the 5th yet again. Infestors have come out, but guess what? There's no army. Up 20 army supply right now. Cure may only be on 3 bases, but I don't think he cares. If he keeps shoving, I think he's got a window right here, right now, to potentially finish this game. Redrop in the main base at the same moment. Link Bane trying to hang on, but what are you going to do? These Banes are worthless. Remember, the Marauder count is now out of control. That first push may have looked rather weak, but it kept Serral busy, and another hatchery bites the dust. Ravagers getting overwhelmed on the left. Bio drop in the main base, shutting down the hive. Dude, Cure finding a moment of weakness here. Serral going for the counterattack on that 4th base. Just sent a bit too much army across the map. Didn't have enough production to keep up the defense at home. And Cure, you know, this is so funny, because I really didn't think Serral expected Cure to keep pushing quite so hard. And I think there was just, you know, a few holes in his mechanics. And now he finds himself dead in the water. You might think, oh, he defends this attack, but guys, look at the income. He's on 3 base. 3 base Zerg is absolutely appallingly bad, because remember, your hatcheries aren't just your economy, they're also your production. This is like losing half of your barracks and half of your command centers. That is disastrous. Burrowed Zergling is going to deny the base. Serral's going to try and make a ridiculous comeback. He's gone into Hydras here, which are very good against Widow Mines because they can outrange them now that Groove Spines is done. That being said, 4th base, 5th base, trying to rebuild. And the one in the main as well, isn't it? Oh, because he's only on 2 bases, isn't he? It's not even 3. Oh, I forgot. I was like, wait a second. Lings get in there. Gonna grab it. An SCV, and then Burrow. Does force a scan out. Bio on the right side. How do you defend this? Fungal has to be the answer, right? Hydras plus good fungals. He's got 3 more infestors building, but he's going to have to cancel this hatchery. He can't fight this just yet, even with 2 fungals. Oh, maybe fungal and Blinding Cloud, actually. Does unburrow the infestor. Ooh, Ravager's going to take that Widow Mine. Infestor's looking for the fungal, but now Q is aware of it. He knows what he's got to watch out for. Range libs is an idea. But I think Ghost is a better idea. You're fighting dual Spellcaster, EMP and Snipes would be amazing. The problem with Libs is they can get abducted by the Vipers. Each Viper can abduct 2 Liberators. So even if you were to go into Lib production now, it's going to take a while to get going. But Hydra Infester can be such a good army. If you land Fungals and have a concave of Hydras, it can just dominate. But he's got to split the army, and he does that really well here. There's just so much Terran on the board, I think he might overwhelm anyway. He might be able to face tank the Fungals and just shove through. Biomine shoving down the left and the right at the same time, guys. Hydras and Infestors there. He's got to take down the Widow Mines. Oh, he does pull back. Nice micro here for Serral. Throws another Fungal. Looks like a couple drones went down to that one. The Widow Mine's not getting the shots that he was looking for, but he does kind of escape, does Cure, and I think that's kind of good. Would have been nice if Serral chased that army, got a few more Marauders on the chase, as well as cleaned up this Widow Mine, but for now, Serral playing incredibly cautiously. Hanging on 58 workers. He needs extreme efficiency in this game, and it's a game where he's down 5,000 resources in that. Doesn't have any lurker upgrades because his hive died. He's remaking the hive now. And Q is waiting for that opportunity with his mass biome. He's going to go Lib range. He's going to go second Starport Fusion Core, but it's a while away. Hydra Ling down here. He doesn't have any Banes. And there's only one Infestor. All his Infestors are on the right side. He's going to send a lot of Hydras over here. Is Serral. Hydra's doing pretty well with the Zerglings to tank, actually. Remember, he's only got +1 range, though, for the Hydras, which does hurt against the +3 Marines and Marauders. Hydras move forward. He does have Frenzy. He could lunge after that army, but Serral playing very cautious. Now, 2 Lurkers plus Fungal plus Blinding Cloud. Cure can't really push in, which is why Serral's confident having such a small army on this right side. And he's keeping a simpler army with less Spellcasters on the left. Very intelligent play for Serral. And he's droned back up to 67 workers. Serral's going to try and make a crazy comeback. Great Fungal. Is it worth? I think Parasitic Bomb absolutely does make it worth. Another Fungal lands. 2 or 3 Medivacs do get popped as well. Nicely played. Oh, yeah, it was 3 Medivacs. He's got an Infestor behind as well. Unfortunately, that Zergling wasn't blocking. And Cure's going to go into mass lib range. The amount of material Cure is going to be able to flood onto this board is crazy. Like, basically, Serral's playing like old school Protoss. The Fungal Viper combo with the Lurkers is kind of like using Storm, Colossus on the defense. You know, it's this army that's like so hard to deal with. Widowmine gets a good shot, gets about 10 Zerglings. And he sees the army, just little glimpses. He's got the Infestor there as well, though the Infestor's down the ramp right now, so it actually can't see that army. And he gets scanned. Infestor goes down, that's unfortunate. Got a good army though. If the bio comes in here, Fungal Hydra spread, it's going to be very effective. So we're trying to bait these Fungals. Hanging on the high ground. Did get rid of the Burrowed Zergling. Right side, not many units over there, guys. He might have to go Parasitic Bomb. I think he's got to give up this Hatchery. Lurkers pull back. Oh, he's going to cancel the Lurker Morph. Hatchery gets killed as well. Great catch there for Cure, who's going Medevac Energy Upgrade. And a bunch of other things like building armor. Vipers need some Blinding Clouds. Does go for the Parasitic Bombs. Infestor does try to pop up, but it gets focused down almost immediately. No Blinding Clouds. So hard to micro all of this. Even Serral makes mistakes in these scenarios. Parasitic Bombs do go down. The Liv's just barely alive. The Queens will clean that up, but a bit of a scrappy fight. Units lost tab. Starting to close the gap a little. Serral's closed it now to just 5,000 resource loss difference. But notice his army on the right is so small. Cure realizes, and he's going to rotate his whole army to that side. Serral counterattacks in here. He could crush this base right now, but he doesn't know that. He's got an Overseer in the back. Nidus Worm is coming up. Don't think he has any Lurkers in there just yet, though. 5 Lurkers are morphing. Things do spot the army on the right side. Dude, Serral, if he brings this game back, he's actually just... Serral! We need to like, chant, man. I'm going to need to go and friggin' worship at the shrine to Serral in my house. If he manages to make this comeback from 2 base against 4. Vipers, oh, they're a bit too far forward, but he's got the Lurkers with range now. I don't think you can push into this as Cure, surely, right? Maybe he can. Hydra Ling Lurker doing really well. Cure tries to man mode it. Dude, I think the Hydras could have stood and fought there. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. Crazy attack for Cure, just man moding that, and Serral doesn't quite have the numbers to hang on. He's so starved for resources. Nidus is the backdoor, does send 2 Hydras down here. He's got to dive in and do some damage here. If he can lunge in and kill this command center in these SCVs, this could be really big. He's got to lunge in, though. He's going to save it for the way out. Fair enough. Gets a few Marauders. Going to get a Sensor Tower, a little bit of damage, but he's got to run now. He can't stay here too long. If Cure was attacking elsewhere on the map, I think he could have stayed longer, but as it is, 8 SCVs, bunch of buildings, couple Marauders, not a bad catch. Lurkers do take a Widowmine hit on that side. They will get revenge, +3 range attack coming in right now. He's got an Infestor actually blocking the command center. That's kind of bad because it's revealing its position. That's unfortunate. Serral doesn't realize, otherwise he would have moved that out of the way, because that's going to get scanned. You know, Kua thinks it's just a burrowed Zergling, and he's like, oh, full energy Infester. Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's a very valuable unit, man. Took a long time to get that energy. Lurkers running in the top right, Nidus in the top left, in the back. Infester tracks the army here. These Lurkers are far enough away from each other that they're not being revealed by the same scan, I don't think. Or maybe they will, actually. Oh, nice movement on that Lurker. Just can't get this right side base up, can he? Serral has to abandon it again. He does have pretty good Lurker position. I think he can engage. Abducts on the libs would be massive. Oh, he goes for the parasitic bombs instead. I thought he'd go for the abducts. The Hydras move under. They do take care of these libs very nicely. Kua. Oh no, did Kua just throw too many units away? He very well may have. The bio runs forward. There's still 4 Lurkers there, mate. You did not take all of those out. Lurkers on the left side with the Nidus. Another Lurker up here in the top right as well. Serral holds the right side while counter-attacking in 2 places. Dude. I can already read the comments. Stop glazing Serral. Why? Because this man is crispier than a goddamn Krispy Kreme donut right now, and he deserves that glaze, mother truckers. Why are you saying how good he is all the time? Are you witnessing this game of StarCraft, idiot, in the comment section? Are you witnessing? Because you really should witness this, much like you should witness one of those Half-Life friggin' guys out of Mad Max spraying that bloody metallic paint on his face before he says, "To Valhalla, shiny and chrome!" The Hydraling Lurker coming in. The Vipers abduct the libs. He abducts the libs in. That's huge. Blinding Cloud on the bio could be massive as well. And this is the problem right now that Q is facing, is Serral can hold position on the Hydras, abduct them in, and then if you try to punish it with your bio, you get Blinding Cloud. Remember I said libs? And then I said, actually, Ghosts is a better call because the libs can just get abducted and dealt with by the Hydras. And I had the moment, my instinct was to do the exact same thing that Kua did. Luckily, I'm not playing a 500 APM war against Serral, and I had a chance to review the decision-making and go, actually, probably not the best idea against really good double spellcaster usage. But you know what? Kua didn't have the chance to think about that. He thought, oh yeah, range libs, pretty good against Lurker Hydra. But the spellcasters are his undoing right now. Great planetary snipe for just 2 Lurkers. Brilliant play there. Serral's right side's a bit open. His army's a bit small here. Oh, but he lands the fungal from behind! In the rear! With the big boy gear! He even gets the fungal parasitic bomb combo to seal the deal. Dude, remember he was down, what, 6,000 or so resources? Now he is down 1,300 only. I mean, that's crazy. Serral fighting back so well. And look at that Liberator taking big damage. It's almost dead. It will re-siege from a different angle, but these Lurkers just won't stop. And Serral showing such a good usage of Zerg units to be efficient, right? It's Lurkers as the siege, Hydras as the generic utility, shoot up, shoot down unit, Lings for run-bys, burrowed units everywhere, Infestors for the ambush. It's been such a good game for Serral. He's finally got this right base established. This middle one will go down. Remember, his income is going to be drying out, but because these bases got sniped, he's got a bit more tail of income than we're used to seeing from Zerg. Nidus Worms going up, that Lurker does get scanned down, but Q doesn't have enough scans to deal with everything, man. And he could send more units in this top right side as well. Serral's going to push the top right with his main army while his Lurkers do big damage in the main. You know, yeah, he doesn't get that much because the libs come back, but he could move those Lurkers as well. He doesn't need to move those Lurkers, actually. A scan could be deadly there. Very focused on that right side. He's going to get back inside the Nidus. Good call there as he does load back in. Kind of crazy how fast the Lurkers can squeeze through that sphincter at the same rate that Zerglings can. Infestor comes up. Nice abducts on the Metavax. He's going to take any kills he can get. Realizing an abduct is always a confirmed kill when you're going into that many Hydras. Beautiful play. Oh, I mean, he's just... There's no answer to these Vipers. You need to have Ghosts here, and he just doesn't have it against the dual spellcaster. Beautiful play here. Bonnie Serral gets the Hydras in that base, and with that base going down in the top right, that is the last bit of economy. He could even unburrow and fungal those SCVs if he really wanted to. But look at this. Lurker Hydraling spread. Vipers just giving so much value in this game. He's got 4 Vipers still up. I'm not sure how many he's lost this game. Probably not that many. He's done a pretty good job at keeping them alive. Another juicy double parasitic bomb. And Cure. Oh my gosh, he found such a good position in this game. But Serral shows that he is indeed the Finnish cat, the man with 9 lives. And Kua didn't even manage to take one of them. That was ridiculous. How many Vipers was it? He only lost 2 Vipers all the game. So he built 6 Vipers. He must have landed like thousands and thousands of energy worth of Viper spells. The Lurker movement was really good. The fact that he kept giving up these bases and losing them, but then he found the room to get like the Niduses up and then to start spreading Lurkers, and then everything crumbled for Kua so very quickly. Libs was not the call. I think the Lib Harass was really good. And I don't think mixing libs is a bad idea, but I think ghosts had to be the priority. I think going into the libs turned out, unfortunately for him, to be a big mistake. Beautiful combo of lurkers, spellcasters, and hydras by Serral. Amazing efficiency to get back in a game where he was miles behind. GG, well played. All right, guys. Serral, dude, finding a transition into Hydra Infesta, one of the best defensive comps in the game. Hydra Infesta Viper. And what a comeback. Kua in the top left side is going to be a little shook after that one, but not really. I don't think Kua is super shakeable. I mean, this is the guy who had his Proxy Marauder defended by Hero in the GSL finals, despite Hero not scouting at all and getting completely caught off guard. Kua looked like a broken man after that moment, and yet continued to play a very good series and almost won that GSL final. So I actually think Kua is capable of coming out, just swinging and playing his best StarCraft. He really does feel to me like the... You know, it's like the old days, people were like, oh, I don't like Korean players to cheer for as a fan because they're emotionless robots, which, of course, is not true. It's just there's players who very much focus on, like, let's try and not let our emotional reactions kind of reign over us, right? Let's try and keep as much control as possible so that I can perform under the extreme pressure of high-level StarCraft. And you compare it to, like, a Hero or a Beyond, where you can see their head moving around, they're, like, breathing heavy, they're, like, clicking like madmen. They just let themselves get emotional, and they sometimes, I think, have a lot more flair in their play because they will take these really crazy opportunistic moves that Kua rarely will take. But Kua is just so much more consistent than those guys, right? He's just like, yeah, there is a sort of, you know, roboticism to the point where he's like, well, dude, like, I will make sure I never, like, panic myself and stop dropping mules or stop building SCVs. Like, his basics is so consistent and so well executed. And he really is a machine when it comes to that execution. But we'll see how it goes as Serral once again going Hatch Gas Pool. I think he is worried about the 2 Rex Reaper because we haven't seen him go for any of those super greedy gasless 3 Hatch builds. But yeah, it is definitely something where, in general, if you don't show a lot of emotion, it is harder to get those casual fans. I think, you know, Serral's an example of a player who I think would, you know, if in the early days, there was quite a few people who were quite resistant to Serral until he started talking a lot more in interviews, opening up at Home Story Cup, and starting to reveal a bit more of his personality. Which happens when you're just winning as much as Serral does for such a long period, where the community kind of slowly got to know Serral, right? It took a while. There was definitely a lot of haters in the early days who said he plays boring, he doesn't show much emotion, he just plays the same stuff every game and just tries to force late game. He's like the quintessential boring, unentertaining player. But over the years, you know, just the dominance he's shown and the amount of obstacles he's overcome, and it feels like everyone, even the ones who are the most begrudging, have slowly become fans of Serral. And all right, yeah, I kind of want to see him win. I think for a lot of Terran players, Q is an inspiration because Terran is the faction where there's so much opportunity for you to tunnel vision on your micro and mess up your basics behind it. And Q reminds us you don't need to have crazy flair to be one of the very best Terran players in the world, right? You don't need to micro your Reaper super duper hard to get that extra creep tumor and then lose it in the process and tilt off the face of the earth half the time. You could just hit a really friggin' solid build. And you can take down pretty much everyone that's not Serral. Now, this matchup was a massive weak spot for Kua if we go back a year plus, but in the last year, he's been very good in this matchup. Serral, you know, able to bring back that last game is just insane, man. Now, I do expect more 8 ranks. I don't think Serral's going to change up his opening. I think this is going to be a very boring series strategically in that regard, just because, like I said, Kua does the same thing every game as he goes for 4 gas and the Overlord spots it. The Overlord spots it. He knows he's playing against Mech. Oh, dude, Serral is such a god. Now, the Marine knows about the Overlord. He knows about the Overlord back there. But he's playing 4 gas. He's going to drop 2 more factories next, guys. And Serral already knows. And he's rushing his lair because he knows if he gets a quick roach speed, that'll shut it down. Oh, does he know? He's gone Evo Chamber. Sees the gas. He sees the Tech Lab upgrading on the starport and keeps the Overlord alive after diving. Did we see link speed? We did. Interestingly, That's a quick lair, and there isn't a Roach Horn down. Is Serral getting fancy? Is he thinking about Mutalisks or maybe doing the Scarlet build? The Hydras did so well for him last game. He might be thinking about going straight Hydras. Hey, very smooth. Cloak's still about 20 seconds away. So the Queens can push the Banshee back and then hopefully buy enough time for an Overseer or maybe a Spore Crawler to run over there. Hellions poking on the right side. 2 more factories into 2 armories. Very quick double armory. Now, you know, the tale says that Mech is Imber right now. The Cyclone lock-on cooldown is 4.2 seconds when it's meant to be 2.8 seconds. It's a bug. Blizzard doesn't fix bugs in StarCraft. It's part of their policy of letting the game be ignored. They've been trying to lower the self-esteem of the StarCraft community for several years now. It's not working. I feel like if they ignore us a lot, we'll come crawling to them and be like, oh, we love you so much, please. They've basically been applying pickup artistry advice from male loneliness channels on how to manage the StarCraft community. It's an interesting tactic from small indie company Blizzard. We'll see if it plays out. Banshees get completely shut down. No damage there. 4th hatchery's already up. 8 more drones coming out. It's 6 minutes. He's at 70 workers again. Creep spread is exceptional. This queen split's so nice. These Banshees are going to try and thread the needle. They could drive in the middle and grab a whole bunch of drones, but they're about to run out of cloak energy, so not really going to find anything. 2 more hatcheries go down. Look at that, guys. He's building a macro hatch this time. Does not want to end up floating thousands of minerals. That got him in a lot of trouble last time. And he does see the extra factory they're building. He knows it's Mech. He still does not have a Roach Horn or a Hydra Den. Right? Am I crazy, guys? He's making Massling Bane. What? Serral? Hello? Does he not realize? I mean, now he should realize there's a ton of Hellions. He's gonna... And there's no Cyclones. It's just Hellions into tanks. Why is he not building a Roach Horn or a Hydra Den? Mass Hellion's gonna Rackling Bane. Unless you get an amazing surround. And she's coming on the bottom left. Serral finally drops a Roach Horn. He just realized. He only just realized, guys. He didn't notice the first factory. He didn't notice it. He's only now seeing what's happening. That's huge. Hive's on the way. 11 more drones and a Roach Horn. He realizes now. I think he was just so in the mindset of this is going to be an 8-Rax. He didn't realize. And he wasn't paying attention to that previous scouting. Fascinating. So Serral, a little bit slow to actually pick up on what's going on. I thought that gas timing was obviously too late to be the second gas, but very early for a 3rd or 4th gas. I thought that gas timing was a huge tell in of itself. And this is one of the rare times where Serral saw something that was rather unambiguous scouting information, and he didn't make the read. It's very easy for... Like, that's a read I probably wouldn't have made, but I would expect Serral to make it. I made the read, obviously, because I can see the entire map. It's very obvious what's happening. I can see the whole picture. But if I was playing live in-game, I probably wouldn't have noticed it. I expect Serral to kind of have this ability to anticipate everything going on. These Lings, they get found. Hellions will shut them down. This is 1-1 Hellions. Zergling's no match for that. He's building a lot of Roaches right now with Serral, but this is giving Kura a pass to a maxed out 2-2 mass tank Hellbat timing. And he's just going to have a huge mech push, guys. Hellions going to drive in. There's not too many drones here, and this surrounds the Hellions. This is a bad move for Kura, I believe. Banelings could be big. He focuses the Banes down. The Roaches are there. Oh, great Baneling hits on a few of them. And the Ling Roach will surround for the rest of it. Don't think that was worthwhile at all. You can see in the units lost tab, that actually brings it back closer to even, despite the Banshees picking off 6 drones this game, and Overseer going down and all that sort of stuff. 4 more drones building. Serral's going to stay up at about 90 workers, and he's going to go Aspire. If he goes Broodlords, it's a checkmate right now, but he might be too slow, because if Kua starts building Thors soon, he could have a bunch of Thors and Vikings ready by the time there's Broodlord. The thing is, right now, there's 10 tanks, there's 3 more building, there's 8 factories. It's got 3 reactors and 4 tech labs. Did I say 8? Where's the extra factory? I do not know. Maybe out front somewhere. Am I blind, guys? Oh, there's one down here. Okay, 5 tech labs, 3 reactors. Banelings do get caught in the middle of the map. 2-2 upgrades are almost there. Q is going to go for it, man. He's got to move out now. 2-2's almost done. It's going to finish in about a minute. It's go time. I think if he pushes right now, I actually think Serral's going to have a really hard time defending this. His creep spread's amazing. I do think Kua should probably push this ridge. That's the perfect area to kind of branch forwards from. Could push the right. I mean, the right side's usually amazing. There's just so much creep there. Kiwa's going to go for it anyway. He's thinking about it. Does get rid of a changeling. There's another changeling on the right side. Does it see him, though? Don't think so. Runs out of time. He's going to scan forwards. It's time to move forwards for Kiwa. He's going to shove. 7 Overlords are making, but this is all going to be about defending the frontal push for Serral. He's got 2 full energy Vipers. If he could hit the Banelings on the Hellbats, the Ling Ravager will clean up. That's a big if. Kiwa's very clumped, though. Kiwa's very clumped. Here we go. Big Ling counterattack, but the Blue Flame Aliens clean up the Zerglings so easily, dude. And look how many tanks there are. Blinding Clouds could help, but there's Vikings, which means Vipers going in are probably going to get shot down eventually. Serral trying to get ready a flanker around this army from 2 sides, but these bridges are terrible choke points. That's a terrible choke point. These are not areas you want to fight into. Yes, Lings run in from this side, but with Blue Flame Hellions and tanks rallying over, I think that's going to be fine. The Queens do take out a few of these, but the Banshee Hellion Hellbat does inch its way back. These units going to continue forward. Serral, he's got a Great Aspire on the way, but he doesn't have any Corruptors out. He's got to give this base up, but if he gives this base, he loses the one on the right as well. I don't think he's willing to give it up. Tanks and Hellbats see those Zerglings trying to run past. He's going to go for it. Serral's going to dive for it, but he's trying to engage on this map. It is a terrible map for a lot of these engagements. The Blinding Clouds are okay, but look how many tanks there are. There's so many tanks going so far back. A bunch of them go down a corrosive pile, but that's a lot of dead roaches and ravagers on this map. The Lings do kill 20 SCVs on Kiwa's third base, though, as Kiwa was very focused on that army on the front. Hellion struggled to kill all these Zerglings before the scan runs out. He's going to morph into Hellbats, but guess what? Scan runs out. Then again, Blue Flame Hellbats should be more than a match for these more Zerglings rallying in. 2 more Vipers building. Remember, the Vipers did go down. They didn't get rebuilt. There's still 15 siege tanks here. Serral's income is kind of amazing, though. So these Ling Roundbys are doing a great job of keeping Kiwa off his back. And maybe, just maybe, he can get enough time to get up more Roaches, more Ravagers, and to bile down these front-running tanks. But the tanks are taking position. There's no Blinding Clouds to worry about. Not yet. Viking tank Hellbat shoving forward. Kiwa trying to get in range of this hatchery. Hellbats are maybe a little bit too far forward. You got to be careful, because otherwise if the Lings get on top of those tanks once the Hellbats are gone, that's where you struggle. Massive tank Hellbat rally right now, and he should be able to deal with this with the siege tanks, I think. There's only like 5 or 6 Roaches left, and with a siege tank in the back, a few Hellbats up front, easy clean up there. A bunch of units on the front line get taken down by Biles, but you can see the Ravager corpses sinking into the ground. About 50% more cost efficiency for Kiwa. The 4-base mech push, old school tank Hellbat abusing the positioning on Pylon. And can you believe it, guys? Serral's supply is dipping. He's building nothing but Roach Zergling. His army is garbage tier. Only 1 Roach left on that left side, third base of Kiwa. Kiwa's 3-3 upgrade is going to be kicking in about a minute. Vikings are poking forward. The Queens are still there, which are slowing down the Vikings. The Vipers are going to try to gather up for some Blinding Clouds again. And these tanks are a little packed in. I do worry that Serral might get the perfect engagement, because I really thought Kiwa was about to win this game, and I was going to say, oh man, this could have been a 2-1. But Serral can get just the right engagement, maybe. Does get some nice biles. Takes out those 2 tanks on the front. Where are the Vipers? They're somewhere nearby. I just don't know where. Can't find them, guys. Oh, top right. He's in the top right, which is a really good angle. Biles coming down to try and slow down the advance, but look at that. 2 Ravagers going down, more Ravagers going down. Here we go. Here we go. Serral doesn't bring the Vipers in. Ling's running on the third base yet again. He's going to burrow those. A single Hellbat stopping him. He's going for it. He's going for it. Here we go. Omega Blinding Clouds. That's what I was worried about for Kiwa. Oh no. Kiwa's tank's way too clumped. Yes, the Vipers do go down to the Vikings, but dude, Kiwa, his tanks were way too clumped there. That was a disaster. 1 Viper does survive, but only temporarily. I believe that those Vikings could easily cut that off. Here we go. More Lings are in the third base. Kiwa, did he just give up his position? He's only on 9 tanks and a handful of Hellions right now. The Viper's going to hide in the top right. The Vikings pulling back. He's got a new orbital on this right side base. Tanks and Hellbats are trying to defend it, but now that he's in low numbers, Kiwa's army looks extra vulnerable. 1 tank does get biled down. Zerglings ready to unburrow on that base. Kiwa turns around, does take care of it, but he's got to hold this position. Vikings landed, trying to be used as regular frontline soldiers, but they eat the corrosive biles. It's actually Serral with the watchtower right now. His Viper gets back to safety. He's going to start gathering energy. 2 more Vipers on the way. Serral and Rain are both experts at using Ravager, Zergling, Viper to deal with Mech. We saw Rainer do so well against Maru in the same scenario. It's never an easy victory. 10 more Ravagers are morphing. Problem with the Ravager, they do cost 3 supply each. So they cost a ton of supply. The same as a Siege Tank, despite having much worse stats. So you've got to be really efficient with your Lings and your Vipers to make up for just how much supply gets wasted on those Ravagers. Serral should be dead. Last game in this game, this is 2 games in a row where Serral should have lost. Q absolutely should be leading this series 2-1 at this point if he was playing a normal mortal Zerg. Unfortunately, Serral just keeps on popping that Divine Shield, and it's actually ridiculous that he even has that ability in this game, but it just feels like he's got a level 3 Divine Shield. It just pops and he has 45 seconds of invulnerability, and it's not really fair. Every other Zerg player just has to accept the death. But he's like, nah, it's cool, man. I was carrying an Ankh of Reincarnation. It's fine. I'll just come right. Like, come on, man. Learn to lose. Ravager harassment behind the minerals. Could keep that out of tank range and keep Bile harassing there. These guys. Oh, the Viking dive. He gets the Vipers. He gets the Vipers. Kua goes for a crazy dive. Forces out a parasitic bomb. Takes out 2 of the Vipers. One of them escapes with no energy. The tanks are deep in the territory. He's got libs. He's got Hellbats. Brilliant dive. Ling drop is going to go in for Serral, but Serral just took a massive amount of damage because it's not just the base, it's the Vipers. He's trying to go Broodlords. I mean, Broodlords would still be absolutely amazing if he can just pull Queens as anti-air. That'd be crazy. The Ravager is harassing. Ling drop has to pick up and leave because there's enough tank Hellion to stop it. Serral's going to have to give up another base, which is a disaster for him right now. He does keep on biling down the Vikings, which is amazing, and sending his Lings across the map. This right side base is open, and oh, those tanks are a bit exposed, aren't they? Those Lings get a juicy engagement. Absolutely delectable. 3 siege tanks going down for a handful of Lings. Doesn't get better than that. Ravager does deny the Rich Gas, which is absolutely amazing as well. This is Serral's activity rate. He's still got Ling drops going in as well. He could even drop Zerglings here and actually have the tank kill his own SCVs. Cure is on 75 workers. He is on 5 bases. And oh, brilliant Lib harass on the left side. That's going to ruin Serral's day. Serral does go for his own Ling attack over here. Gets rid of a few tanks and Hellions on the front. Ling drop in the main base one more time. On the right side, he runs forward. Biles 2 siege tanks, quickly withdraws. Unfortunately, he's doing all of that, which means this Liberator is tearing it up. Does get like 13, 14 drones on that bottom left base. Serral was doing so many things so well, but even he has his limits, and he did not notice that Liberator just kill 14 drones, guys. That is so painful for the Finnish Zerg. Now, these Lings could clear this tank and all those SCVs. Liberator's not necessarily going to stop that. This hatchery will finally get given up by him. He's going to rotate to the left, realizing, uh-oh, Kua's got a new army on the left. He never dealt with the army on the right, but now there's an army there as well. Lings will clear out that right side base, though. Biles coming forward. He does take out a few units. He's already lost all the drones on this hatchery. He might have to give this up, which means Serral's just going to run out of places to mine from. He drops Biles on the Vikings, or at least attempts to. Loses a lot of Ravagers for just 2 tanks. He needs the Vipers working in tandem. Broodlords will take out a few of these tanks on this right side. I like the way he kind of stutter steps forward here. Brilliant play there by Serral. Moving forward, but there's Vikings on the map. He doesn't have mobile anti-air. Lings are on the 3rd base yet again. You have to put Serral in the ground because he will keep on fighting. He will absolutely keep on fighting and fighting hard. The turret there is really nice, though. That turret means you can't just burrow like he's been doing mostly. Tanks take out yet another hatchery. Serral trying to rebuild on the right side. He does have a few Broodlords, but the Vikings are going to be a problem now. Keep in mind, Vikings do not have attack upgrades, only armor, which means they will have good armor, though. And oh, these Overlords! This costs so much, Serral. He's going to be supply blocked. Dude, the Vikings have actually been the MVP of this entire game. They have actually been amazing. And dude, I don't know, man. I looked at those stats before this series. I said 90% win rate for Serral. I said, dude, if you make Serral even breathe heavily, you're probably, you know, done better than most people expect for Kua. But Kua has been improving his ZVT. And you can just see the longevity that he's got. With different styles, the way he can play in 8 racks, and even if the first attack doesn't work, the next attacks are still very powerful. It's a very good style. Liberator does get taken down. I think the Vipers are still up. They're with the Broodlords right now. He's going to try and Parasitic Bomb and Corruptor to get rid of the Vikings, and then the Broodlords deal with all the tank Hellbat. Problem, there's Thors as well. You know, it's not just the Vikings, because Vikings on their own are a pretty, not a great counter for the Broodlord, I would say. A bit too counterable by spells and Corruptors. But it's going to be the fact that you've got Thors on the ground in single target mode as well, which will outrange those Broods and potentially take care of them. He can't afford to lose another hatchery. Serral's income already lower than Q is right now. Right, he's going to try and hit that left side base. Ooh, Lings will get rid of a few of these tanks. Those tanks not quite in range of covering the rest of the base. Broodlord, Viper, Queen going to try to defend. I do like this idea of just pick off a tank, pull back. Serral's going to get out of there. Nice transfuses, though, and actually he's using the tank splash to take care of the Thor, which is really well done. He forces the unsiege. Oh, he forces the unsiege, and you know what? He doesn't have any ground army to deal with it. Q just unsieges and shoves forward. Viper's coming forward with Parasitic Bomb. Great transfuses for Serral, but he's used up most of his energy, and he has to give up the base. He does deny the base over here. Looks like he killed the command center. I think he just killed the command center. Yeah, an orbital has died. There's also a burrowed Zergling in the main This is a wild game right now. That Corruptor pops out, does survive. 3, 4 Thors are on the map. Now, this is technically the situation where Infestors actually win you the game. As Serral. The reason is, there's only a few orbitals. There's no Raven. 3 orbitals, so very limited scan, very little detection. Number 1. Number 2, he's not got libs. He's got tanks are the only unit that's going to outrange the Infestor Neural. But the tanks are not going to want to siege because of the Broodlord. So when he unsieges, your Infestors can move forward, Neural Parasite the Thors, and you win the game. Serral has not built a single Infestor, but he's got the gas bank. I think that's the game-winning move, if he can find the room to go for it. Tank's going to siege up. That circling will go down. A bit more units on this right side. He's got a burrowed drone there, so he can unburrow and take that hatchery. 5 Infestors are being made. Very nice move. Ravagers run forward, takes a few of those shots, but does take care of the siege tank. I think rotating a Ravager behind that base might be worth it again. Serral's solo on units, though it's kind of tough. And even this random little outpost, tank can hold that in the middle of the map, could be causing him problems. There's 7 Infestors coming out, could be absolutely massive. Broodlords. Oh, where's the Parasitic? Parasitic could be big here. Great pullback for Cure on those Vikings. Saw that coming a mile away. Got out of range before the cast could happen. He can deny this base, Serral's in Trubs. Ling unburrows up there. He unburrows the Zerg. He doesn't even want to throw a Nidus. He doesn't have the resources. He just wants to do that. Parasitic Bomb is big. Got a tick of damage on all the Vikings. That one, of course, is going to take the full 120. The other Vikings do take a fair bit. You can land the Vikings to get out of that, but you didn't want to land them right now. Tank's shoving forward. Broodlord's here. He's going to go for it. Serral lands Blinding Cloud Fungal combo. Absolutely massive. The Thors cannot fight back. The tanks are friendly, firing like mad. And the Thors get absolutely hammered. He can headbutt. He can headbutt. Serral does not need to pull back. He can just fight this because there's only one Thor left. The Corruptors took out the Vikings, and he absolutely cleanses Cure with the Spellcaster combo. Cure tries to shove the base, and Serral says, thank you for stepping into my trap. Fungal and Blinding Cloud, so the Thors couldn't move out of the Blinding Cloud, and they couldn't attack. Otherwise, their first few volleys would have rinsed the Broodlords. But with the spells there, Serral takes advantage. The tank-friendly fire actually did more damage to the Thors than the Broodlings and the Broodlord attacks themselves. And it's just a beautiful combo of Serral. Doesn't even have to use Neural Parasite. Doesn't even get around to it. And ends up just smashing that army. I mean, that was an excellent late-game engagement. That's the theoretical engagement you always look for, and you never actually successfully land unless you are absolutely wild as a player. Now, to be fair, if there was ghosts on the map for Cure, I think he could have done a little better, but he's never had the chance to transition into those ghosts. Serral getting in there on the right side. Ravagers coming in. He piles down a few of these tanks. Does lose quite a few Ravagers, though. Got to be careful. Gets one more tank on the disengage. Nicely done. He's still got this giant Corrupted Broodlord army. Oh, Cure getting scrappy. This is kind of funny because it's like Serral's so far ahead right now, but oh, the Infestor. Fungal, bro, Fungal. Oh no, the Infestor goes down. These 3 Hellbats coming in causing trouble. It's just Cure's supply is so bad. His income's also down in the dumps right now, so of course it feels like a little too late at this stage. Army supply is 68 to 134, and Serral, 2 games in a row, punches his way out of the coffin. I gotta tell you, man, if there aren't splinters in this man's knuckles, then I don't know what's going on. Those Finnish lads are just made of harder stuff. Bile's gonna finish the orbital. No dodging that. An orbital trying to dodge a corrosive Bile, guys. It's like someone throwing a ping pong ball at you in slow motion and you trying to dodge it while in a wheelchair. It's like you can often dodge it, but it's just awkward on both sides. Broodlord's coming in on that right side. Corruptor Viper Infestors there. One Broodlord gets insta-popped. Oh, but the Broodlings do go down. He's got to keep the Infestors out of tank range. Fungal doesn't quite land. He's looking for the spells, but Cure using that Watchtower advantage very nicely. The moment he lands a Fungal Parasitic Bomb, those Vikings will say goodnight, and then the Broodlords will reign supreme. One misstep, and Cure's out of this game. I think Serral might be able to just headbutt this and overwhelm with his numbers advantage, but he's playing incredibly cautiously. That's how Serral likes to play. The Ravager back here denying the workers. I think he just cleaned up some Hellions on this left side as well. Yep. He's going to counterattack into the production. That's going to cause trouble. Cure tries to siege up there. Here we go. Tank, Viking, Thor coming forwards. Parasitic Bomb Fungal lands instantly. Serral is so smooth. Another Fungal does land. The Broodlords try to get out of there. Corruptors do stand and fight, but the Vikings are all gone. Corruptors do take a lot of damage from those Thors. Serral will pull away. Vikings doing a little bit more. A bunch more drones do go down. You can just see how good Serral is at the fighting retreat. Serral has mastered the fighting retreat to a level beyond what most players do. Same as in the last game. It's engage and fall back and engage and fall back, move and shoot, constantly retreating. I mean, it's just so bloody well done. He uses defender's advantage, and the moment the fight turns out of his favor, he's out of there. He just takes the advantage parts of the fight. He just takes the favored parts, and he does it bloody brilliantly. Planetary on that side, still mining a bit of minerals. This one's completely denied by the Ravager. Does Serral lose 2 hatcheries? Yes. Does he care? No, because as always, he is more efficient than his opponent in the long run. Losing 275 mineral hatchery, the drone that was sacrificed into it, he doesn't care about that. He just moves and shoots, man. Constant fire, reposition. The enemy never knows exactly where he's coming from. By the time they manage to flank one position, he's moved to a new one, and he's already got multiple angles coming in on them. Brood Lords from the high ground. Oh, juicy. There's only 3 Thors. Blinding Cloud lands. Neural Parasite turned on his own side as well. Serral. It's just built differently. What a freak, man. He was super dead in this game. But yeah, apparently he's just really good at StarCraft. Who knew? All right, guys, we got Serral on the top left side of the map, refusing to die. Cure in the bottom left side, of course, no doubt frustrated. Done so well in these games. But Serral's activity rate, the constant Ling counters in that last game, just refusing to give up. This is a bit of an awkward extractor trick. What was that, Serral? He did the extractor, built the drone, and forgot to cancel it for like an extra 3-4 seconds. It is what it is. All right, guys, so we've got SCV's building. Barracks will go down. Sends an SCV to build the gas. Right on 75 minerals. Very clean. Interestingly, I noticed that Kua doesn't seem to rally the SCV to the inside of his gas, which is different. Most players will do that to optimize the mining, because when he finishes building the refinery, he'll take a few seconds to hop off of it and then start mining, while the other SCVs can't actually mine. But if you tell him not to mine the gas, there we go. He does it correctly that time. Like it was just one game. He didn't do it in the previous one. Okay. I was like, oh, that's weird that he wouldn't do a detail like that, because normally he's so detail oriented. But turns out it was indeed an aberration, a rare moment where he didn't do the thing. Serral continuing with his hatch gas pool openings, very prepared for any sort of 2-Rack Reaper shenanigans. I mean, if you showed anyone the score up at this point, you'd be like, yep, standard Serral 3-0 and Kua, not even close. No! This scoreline does not reflect what has happened in this series so far. It really doesn't. Serral's had to work so freaking hard just to get to this game. Even game 1, which was the most dominant for Serral, Kua made him work for. But game 2 and game 3 both felt like he had Serral down in the dumps. Hydra Infester Viper comeback was amazing. But then again, coming back against Mech with the Ling Ravager Viper, and then adding the Infestors, or the Broodlords, then the Infestors. Just the Ling backstabs. It's such good play. The Ravagers harassing that right side base, denying the purple gas. Actually crucial. Just constantly using Burrow, Ling counters, Nidus Worms. Didn't give Kua the freedom to do what he needed to. And of course, Kua not quite finding the engagements that he needed. Gonna be blocking this third base, but he does run the SCV away. Drone could come in and take it. Not hanging around to... Oh, he fine? No, he doesn't see the drone. Interesting. Hatchery does go down. Okay. Serral happy to get his third hatchery down. He'd already started a third queen in the main while bringing 2 queens to the natural. And he's got Ling Speed and an Overlord on the way. Behind this, of course, third command center on the high ground for Kua. He's going to swap his factory over. Starport begins. Second gas will go down after the Hellions start. So 2 Hellions, second gas, I think, and then Tech Lab, right? I think that's the order. 50 minerals, Tech Lab, yeah. Okay. Textbook for Kua. No changes to his build order so far in the series in the early game. Creep Tumor number 1 does get down. 4th and 5th Queen both starting. He's always so good at... This build order is like locked in. 4th and 5th Queen always starting after he hits 2 base mineral saturation, and they both start just before 3 minutes 30. Then he builds a couple Zerglings in case the Hellions run in, and he starts droning this third, while just non-stop building Queens. I mean, it doesn't have to be non-stop. If he goes Roach Warren again, He might stop at 6 queens, which means he probably only builds 1 more. Liberator's a bit of a change-up. See if Kua can find some damage with that. It is indeed the Roach Warren again. Alright, some Hellions poking forward. Ooh, Matrix. Ladies and gentlemen. Matrix! Hellions and Banshees building. Or Liberators, I should say. Matrix, of course, is a fake out, so if the Overlord comes in, he thinks it's Cloak, even though it's not. But he doesn't actually get close enough to see that. Lair starts up, 4 minutes 30. Liberator's going to go down that left side of the map. I wonder if Serral, do you think he takes the top right? I think he probably just takes this base. It's a bit more compact. The top right's a bit out in the middle of nowhere. Then again, it is more out of the way for your opponent to push, and indeed Serral will go to that top right base. I love how he always sends his drone early, and look, he gets to the minerals just before he gets there. It's just so detail oriented, so well done. All right, Liberator flies in the left side. Spore Crawler just finished. Oh, good timing for Serral. He's all over it. Queen and Spore should be able to deflect this. Hellions coming in the right side. 15 Lings are ready, but they're not quite in position. Evo Chamber goes down. Queens get some good damage. Really well played. Spore Crawler Queen comes up there as well. Oh, he accidentally sieges in range. Oh, he's not going to get anything, is he? The Liberator goes down. Serral, picture perfect on the D so far. On double Evo there. Forgot to cancel this Evo. Okay, there we go. Cancels it just in time. Goes for more gases. Fourth base is building in the top right. Cure, I think, was expecting it on this left side, same as me. Third command center is up. Fourth and fifth barracks. 1-1 upgrades are coming in. Does Cure try something different? Does he try like a really quick 8 racks? Hoping that Serral's a little light on units. Catch him early when the Bane speed's not done. Maybe even the Ling speed not done. Part of me feels like that might be the move for Cure. Maybe even stop building workers here and just go for like a 5 racks push. Just non-stop Marine tank medevac and just go. Maybe even after just 4 medevacs, add libs. It just feels like if he could surprise Serral with something, it'd be nice. But he's built like 8 Hellions. Should heal those up on the healing shrine, which I think... No, he's going to drive right past. Players always forget about this, man. Free healing right there, bro. He can always morph Hellbats and make medevac healing, but that will cost energy. Hive's on the way. 6.5 minutes. Baneley Nest coming in. 1-1 upgrades and Roach speed. Serral on 81 workers at 6.5 minutes. My gosh. Like, Cure's macro is good, but this is just something that you see here. Oh, the Overseer hides. Serral's so annoying. Oh my god. Hiding on the pillar. And look, he gets out. Can he get out? No, he does another stim to get it. 2 stims to get the Overseer. Dude, Serral's such a tank. Such a big boy. That's insane. Hellions rotating to the right side. Marine tank here as well. 23 Marines, 3 tanks out. Extra 1 on the way. Armory's coming in. Lings are running forwards. Just a little scouty scout. Fourth command center is going to go down. Oh, crazy rumble outside. What was that? Oh, Marines are ready. Counter's not going to do anything. This is a scary alleyway because it's a narrow alleyway, really bad for Zerg to fight in, but there's speed zones, which are really good for Zerg to fight in. So I have no idea what to expect when I see a Terra Enforcer fight down there. I don't know if it's good or bad for them. It might have worked out because it was pre-Viper. That was kind of the brilliant timing that I was talking about, is that's the window I would have liked to see Enforcer fight at. But he's going to go 4th command center and only then 3 more barracks. Big first change up of the series, guys. He's also going to swap into Widow Mines. So we're going to see a Bio Mine swap and 4th command center double upgrades before the 3 barracks, which means Q is going to play a macro game, or at least something approximating. I do still think he wants to play high tempo. Doesn't want to let Serral get all of the different fancy late game pieces. Q does deny creep on the left temporarily. Serral taking a 5th up front. Oh, he's going to really focus on the right side of the map. Interesting. Vipers should have energy starting to gather. They're not ready to fight just yet, though. Serral, he's up 10 army supply, though. This is a scary moment, I think, for Cure. If he fought before the Banes were there, I think this might be a bit easier for him. He's got 4 siege tanks, only 3 on the front, though. Big Ling counterattack ready. He's going to go in on that third base. Nice move for Serral. Serral's lost his hatchery on the other side, so good chance to get some counter damage since he took some damage of his own. And oh my lord, that's a lot of SCVs going down. Lings actually go for the full wraparound on these Marines. They do get a decent little engagement. Q is going to pick up and pull back to his natural. 12 workers do go down though. Fourth command center is finished, but has not morphed into a planetary. This army rotating to the right side again. Q is thinking about going top right, but he's taken so long to do it. I think he needs to bring this army forward to reinforce if he wants to make this happen, because he's going to be dealing with blinding clouds and a speed zone in a choke point. This is so scary. Q, this is such a scary... This is only a small part of his army. Serral's entire army is ready to collapse. I don't know about this, man. The Vipers are there on the left side. Watch out for the blinding clouds. One of the Vipers doesn't have energy. Blinding cloud goes down on that tank on the left side. The Ling Bane crashing into this army so fast. And that was not a good time or place for Kua to fight. Too much of his army wasn't there. And the usage of concussive siege tanks and long-range units in a speedy zone, even though it was in a choke point, was not good. Too easy to flank with the Vipers and just too easy to get jumped on by those boosty zones. Here we go, guys. Hatchery in the top left. Oh, it gets cancelled. Oh, me, oh my. Ravaging Bane comes in. Bio's going to pick up. Kua does get some nice hatchery snipes, but he lost so much army on this left side fight that I think nonetheless, Serral should have room to recover. But he can maybe get the Vipers. Oh, doesn't focus the Vipers. He's got to get out. He's got to get out. Okay, Kua does save some of these units. Parasitic Bombs doing good damage to the medevacs. Another hatchery snipe on the right side. He's going to come down here. If he can click that hatchery, that would be big. He's going to go for another hatchery snipe. Dude, Serral not able to defend his bases right now. He's going to go into Hydras to try and counter this. Similar to the game on Pylon. I believe it was Pylon. It wasn't in Incorporeal, right? Incorporeal. You guys taught me how to say that one properly. I still have to think about it, though. We'll get to the point of unconsciously saying it properly at one day. Marine Marauder. Trying to deal with it. He's going to rotate that. Hatchery is fine. More Hydras are on the way. Oh, 3-3 started. Okay, so Kua's got a pretty big army. He's building a 5th command center now. It's still pure biomine. No infestors or lurkers out. Dude, Kua's in a good spot. He's not maxed, but he just keeps denying. That's like the 17th hatchery denied. Definitely not exaggerating there, guys. Oh, Doom Drop? Okay, so he's going to triple drop into the main, and then these guys are just going to hang here to keep denying the space. It's a good move. There's a few spores, but he doesn't have enough creep to fully root them all. Ah, no, he's going to leave those guys to come back into snipe. This army's going to rotate back around the right side. Not a bad move, not a bad move. Lurkadens there, 2 infestors are building, +1 range, +3 carapace. Serral feels like he's been on the back foot this whole series, but he's surviving and he's absorbing punches. Just one of his best characteristics. Take the punch very, very well. Solid chin on the Finnish Phenom. Bio drop behind the third base. Queen Ling Ravager Roach will deal with that. Oh, looks like he lost a tech structure there. Not sure which one that was that just went down. Maybe the Hydroden? Bio Army's diving the right side as well. He's trying to use this distraction, but these Banes are going to get some pretty big hits, man. At the same time, on the right side, we have to watch that army. The Widow Mines getting decent hits on the Zergs. It's a lot of Bio. Good drone pull to abandon. Top left side, Parasitic Bomb just killed a full medevac there. All of Kua's army in the main went down. What tech structure did he snipe? It was indeed the Hydroden, but the 2 important Hydra upgrades were already made, and now he's rebuilt his Hydroden. He still needs to make Lunge, does several. It's just not the biggest high priority upgrade. Hopefully he does remember that at some point. Units lost tab trading is 3,000, or 2,300, I should say, in favor of Kua. So he's finally getting that correct sort of trading level that you'd expect in this matchup. He's going to float a 5th base out. He's got another command center coming in. His multi-pronged bio has been very effective. I like him dropping and diving the top right side base. I just don't like him doing like slow pushes. I like him clearing the creep and then running away. Coming back in for another drop right into the mineral line and then running away. I think that's the way to do it. Yeah, this is the way to play it. Going to deny this left side base again. Lurkers are out, though. Oh, no, Lurkinitis. He hasn't noticed it. Oh, no, Lurkinitis is in the main. Q has been attacking for so long that he dropped the ball in his defense. He just didn't even have his eyeballs there whatsoever. Oh, man. Dude, Libs will come back. Okay, Libs might be able to defend this. If he can save his upgrades, that's good. 3-3 is going to finish. He needs a scan, though. Does need a scan. This drop got pushed back. Another hatchery cancel there. Serral's stuck on 4 bases, man. Libs are going to do some really nice damage. He unloads Ravages for anti-air. Oh, Serral, get out. You're not meant to do that, mate. You're meant to just accept that you don't have any anti-air here. But, of course, Serral, being the freak that he is going to unload the Ravages. He only gets 2 biles, though, I think. Doesn't get the 3rd bile, and actually, Oh, but the Lurker Splash is so big. Okay, that's a crazy fight. A lot of Lurker Ravager went down, but so does a lot of Terran stuff. He's going to need to repair his base. Serral realizes right now, you are so busy dealing with that. Mass Link counterattack with a few Banes, a few Vipers could be absolutely huge. Kua is still on the Zerg side of the map. Serral runs away. Serral runs away. Serral's the first one to blink. The Bio Army comes in. He's going to pull everything back. Another redrop on the right side. Stuck on 4 bases. Serral cannot get a 5th. Dude, he needs to find some value, and he needs to find it soon. Things will go to the right side. That drop does get cleaned up. It's not the most inefficient for Kua, though. It doesn't feel like it's terrible for him by any means. Bio Army's still there with the Widowmine dropping. He's still thinking about dropping on that left side as he's finding value with the multi-drops. What is the late game transition, though? He's building 2 more barracks, so he's going to go to 9 barracks. But Kua doesn't seem... Oh, his command center is still burning in the main. He never repaired up his command center. That's a problem. Lurkers come in on this base. Libs might be able to siege it and save this. I think they can. Yeah, good scan. Does save the base. Very nicely done. But the activity rate, Serral's keeping him so busy. A few Marines and Marauders do go back. He's got to deal with all this. And now there's Hydra Viper, which means the drops could get shut down. He's going to counterattack here, but this is a crazy counter. Nidus Worm! Clicking the Nidus would be really nice. The Lurkers do get back out in the front. They're still sieging there. This army gets jumped on, but it's mostly Zerglings. The Bio's going to do okay, even though the front units get surrounded. This Bio here takes out the Nidus Worm, take out a Roach Warren, a bunch of other buildings all go down. But, oh, the Fungal Parasitic Boom! The Medivacs get busted. The Bio gets boomed by the Banelings. Serral takes a pretty good fight there. That being said, he's down 5,000 resources lost. And did he deny the planetary? He hasn't denied the planetary. The orbital in the main repaired. Kua needs to get his gas mining back up, though. He's lost 2 gases in the main. He doesn't have these gases. He does need more gas mining, but he's out trading Serral. If he can maybe not deny this base, but keep denying this one and deny the gold, I think 5 base against 5 base is excellent for Terran with this level of trading. He does have lib range coming in, which it's weak to Vipers a little bit, but it's still very good against Hydras. I think Hydras are very bad against libs in most situations. Don't get me wrong, you can still catch the libs out of position and do just fine, but in a straight up fight, like, the libs will trade very well against those Hydras unless the Vipers can land spells. Now, don't get me wrong, nice Bio dive up here, gets rid of a few Lurkers. I think one of the big problems that he ran into, Widowmine kills yet another drone trying to take that base. No ghosts, right? He doesn't believe in the 3 supply ghost. Kua clearly does not want to play ghosts against Serral. I think he realizes that'll slow the game down into Serral's wheelhouse, right? Nice scan, catches the Infestor. But the fact that there's Infestors out here has to keep him worried. He's got another Infestor over there, does Serral. He can bring that in the moment that scans out. Trying to build turrets forward is Kua. He's thinking about taking a 6th base on this right side. But, oh, the Infestor gets caught! Infestor goes down. Excellent micro here by Kua. Lurkers continue to be a bag of Ds. You know, you're wondering, what are Ds? Ds nuts! Sorry, I couldn't stop. Sometimes I live stream too much. The children get to me sometimes. The libs do come in. Big parasitic bomb. Oh, that parasitic bomb is really big. It hits 5 libs for the whole duration. Oh my gosh, they're so wounded now. That's a huge parabomb, dude. And here we go. He tries to move forward right now, but these libs are now heavily wounded. Bile takes down 2 of them. I mean, it's cool to push into Serral, but he's lost a lot of Liberators. A lot of them are sieged up on the left side as well. He's just being kept so busy. A few Marines do stim it on that side, which is really nice. But look at that. The Abducts come in. The Libs are going to go down now. And with all those Libs getting cleared out, you can see Serral, yes, he's down 5,000 resources, but I can see that number swapping back, especially with this Lurker multi-prong. Can Kua keep up the pace? He's in a decent position right now. Serral struggled to expand, but Serral's taking the gold base. That's mining over there. And at the same time, Serral harassing this base. 3 Lurkers. He's creating problems right now. He's just lighting as many fires as possible and knowing that Kua has to use a lot of resources, a lot of time, a lot of scans to deal with that. Liberator Harass comes in on the left, does get shut down. Liberator Harass goes down the right side, but it looks like it's already deep in the red, so very well could get shut down super easily. Marauders do come back. That's a very efficient cleanup. Just 4 Marauders do deal with it. Liberator Harass sieges up. Serral's reactions are on fire right now, and he's going to already build spores on that right side. Bio does run in, insta-kills the spore, but the Roach Hydra Lurker army is right there. Bio going to take out a few drones. Nice abduct, no escaping this. Gets shut down. Yes, some workers fall, but the lib goes down in the top right to the Queens. There's Mauling Bane over here. Is that enough to kill a planetary? I don't know, dude. I feel like you want to repair this. If Kua can repair it, oh, but a few more Banes come in. Just enough Banes to take out that planetary. Nice move for Serral. He doesn't have a huge bank. He's got to be careful expending Lingbane armies for that sort of thing, but as long as he keeps the gold minerals up and starts to put Kua in a bit of a box, it might be worth it, because this base finally up. This base finally up. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases now for Serral, And yes, Q has got a 6th base, but you just killed his 5th. So it's 5 base against 7. Of course, as long as Q floats his command center down, keeps building command centers, he can do okay. Libs come forward. Oh, great Lib siege. But lurkers are very quick, especially in those boosty zones around those rocks. The lurkers do fall back. He's only got 1 spore crawler. Dude, these libs showing no respect. But the Vipers are here. He might want to broadside this army. Honestly, I think Serral could have A-moved, abducted these libs, and all the libs would have been on the wrong angle. But he sees a counter army coming, and he does rotate left instead. Doesn't want to take the chance. Lurkers coming in the bottom right as well. Planetary is still there, getting under heavy harassment. Another hatchery cancel up there. The bio could click on it. Does try to rotate. Libs here. Oh no, the orbital goes down. The planetary going down as well. You got to be careful, Cure. Drop does rotate into the main base. Gold base goes down as well. Both sides taking losses here. That orbital falling, though, is really big. He's only got 3 orbitals. That was his 4th one going down. That's a real problem. Parasitic Bomb does drop the Medivacs in the main, which means that Marine Marauder gets cleaned up by the Zerglings very efficiently. Lib finally takes care of that guy back there. Very limited scans available. Oh, the Infestor moves into turret range. Good job by Cure to spread these missile turrets, really helping him clear things up. You can see there's a burrowed sneaky boy there as well. No command center on this left side. Cure struggling to keep up pace with the Finnish Phenom, the greatest player of all time. Serral all over this series right now, but in a war in game 4. 2 Vipers, 1 Infestor out. 4 more Vipers are building. Bio dive. He's going to move some Libs forward as well. Cute move here, actually. Libs doing some decent damage. Picking off a few of these Hydras. Yes, one of the Libs get abducted. Ooh, left side, Serral wins that fight decisively, though. Cure tries to dive both sides. He gets kind of wrecked on the left. He does take the hatchery on the right side, so he's pushed Serral back to 5 bases. Cure's on 5 bases of his own, but Cure's down 14 workers, and he's going to be even further behind with these long-distance guys never really getting adjusted. Cure's going to have to pull back and deal with this army. He's got a lot of infrastructure over here. Oh, his rally probably can deal with this. The Ling's kind of running ahead and getting cleaned up. More lurkers running in from that right side. He's going to harass this mineral line. Dude, Serral's so annoying. Look at that lurker harassment. High-sec auto-tracking never got made in this game. Neither did the building armor, which means the planetaries only have 6 range, not 7. And they've only got 1 armor, not the 3 that they would have once that upgrade's finished. Liberator's going to chase that left side. Bunch of Hydras and Lurkers do get pushed, but that was the whole army being occupied. 13 SCVs going down. And does he have the scans? He's making another orbital here, but I don't think he has many scans right now. Yes, he stims and cleans up that Lurker. This is keeping him so busy. And watch out for the Fungal. Fungal from behind. Fungal from behind. Big Parasitic Bomb lands. Serral, he's thinking about it, but the rocks. Great rock play there. Vipers getting some beautiful abducts on these Liberators, pulling them out of siege mode. Well, he doesn't actually kill that one. And there we go, he lunges to finish it. Cure's going to counter dive, cancel that hatchery one more time, or in fact gets a kill. Gold base is being rebuilt as well. That one's gone unnoticed. Finally, Cure cleans up this base. Cure's economy very low, 41 workers. He's got a 147 supply army though. I think Serral might actually just be running out of steam because his income's... Where's he? Oh, he's got this base. I was going to say his income's drying up, but I was like, how does he have 2,500 minerals? I don't know how that's coming in per minute, but he's got a new base on the left. These 2 bases, if he loses this fight, Serral's done for. If Cure can deny these bases, he's got it in the bag. It's a big if, though. Vipers are up front. Great Parasitic Bomb lands, hitting a lot of those Liberators. That AoE, massive on that Parasitic Bomb. Scan cleans up all the drones on the hatchery on that side. Bio dives the top right, but they get cleaned up. Oh, that's a big win for Serral. Really big win. Unfortunately for him, he just lost 25 drones, and I think he has to give this base up. But another great Parasitic Bomb. Oh, he's going to use Blinding Cloud Hydras to try to hold on against the Marauders. Dude, I feel like Cure just has so much more army. He might be able to do it. Planetary's going to go down. Oh, no, he doesn't get the repair in time. This Planetary's also taking big damage. Serral's Lurker harass from that bottom right Nidus has just been an absolute menace. Yes, the Lurkers go down. If he saved that Planetary, that would be so much better for Cure. Cure's army very wounded. These Libs are going to have to go home. These Vipers getting crazy value right now. Serral's income is gone, though. He's got a mineral patch. 2 more there. 3 or 4 more there. Serral's completely out of mining. Cure. That Planetary is everything. The Lings dive. Serral gets a snipe on the most important Planetary in the game. And Cure, losing that Planetary, has to feel his heart sink because that was the heart of his economy. He's got orbitals here, but no Planetaries left. It's all orbitals, which means Ling harass is a problem. Not only that, but the Infestor. It sharks into missile turret range. The full energy Infestor. Oh no, Serral lets his Infestor go down, and now he's down 20 army supply. The income is looking pretty decent for Cure. I don't think Cure can drop mules. I don't think he can afford to do that. I love that Serral's staying active with the Lurker harassment. I think that's been such a boon to him and such a thorn in the paw of Cure for this entire game. He's going to send a double drop over to deal with it. Mostly Marines, not the best units for dealing with lurkers, but they'll do okay. A couple libs are sieged here. These liberators are still heavily damaged. Kua needs to take a moment to repair those, and he's got to be careful about spreading his libs when the fight happens. That's one of the biggest problems he's having right now is these libs are too clumped and they're already too damaged, which means a parasitic bomb could kill like 1,000 resources. I think they removed the salvage on the missile turret, guys. I'm pretty sure that got removed. I don't see the ability down here. I think that got removed, yeah? I think we only see the detection symbol down there. Forward Zergling is there. Bio roaming. Sensor tower can still salvage, that is correct. Oh, parasitic bomb comes down. Gets one lib. Big damage on 2 more of them. Bio's gonna die, but not into lurkers, mate. Oh no, Kua. Oh, steps into the meat grinder. And look, the Vipers are here to punish. Abducts, parasitic bombs, all could be massive. Oh, the libs are just continuing to shove forward. Parasitic bombs getting value. Serral fighting retreat. Once again, he's willing to give up ground as long as he takes an efficient fight with his army. He knows that's the important thing. Hydra Lurker comes into this main. It's not a lot of units, but he even micros back the individual Hydra with the lunge. Oh, that is the most Serral move I've ever seen. Lurker on the left, Lings on the right. He just killed another 19 workers. Serral being an absolute menace, but oh no, his Lurkers aren't burrowed. Oh no, he just lost a bunch of Lurkers. Oh, that's problematic. I think he can clean this though. Can he? Maybe? Oh, those libs doing good damage. He's gonna give up the base. Serral taking massive losses. Kua is just keeping the pressure up so nicely. Marauder there does get a few drones, but it gets cleaned up by the lurkers on the high ground. Serral's gonna clean that up. He still has a mining base. Kua also has a mining base, but only 9 SCVs, and his command centers are burning. Oh no. He's got to transfer these works. He needs to repair this bad boy. Burning command centers, man. That one's repairing. This one is not. Oh no, that's one of only 4 orbitals that he has remaining. He needs to keep that orbital alive. Oh no. Oh, Drilly boy. Okay, the Drilly boy does get down there and starts to drill that command center back to pieces. Oh my gosh. Back to pieces, or back into one piece, I guess I should say. From many pieces to singular piece. Liberator's trying to siege up. Abducts, say thank you very much. Take out those libs. There's still an infestor there. If you chase this, you're in trouble as Kua. Army on that side, gotta watch out for the lunge. The Hydras are right there. They've already used it. 1 medevac goes down. The full one does escape. Serral not watching. That's lucky for Kua. But the abducts, oh no, he's got him pinned and he's just abducting all of these libs, man. Does take out another lib there. Oh no, he doesn't. Ooh, bit of an overstep. Bit of an overstep. There we go. Does take care of it now. But watch out for the fungal. Watch out for the fungal. Oh, the Hydras are going to shove and Kua has to tap out. Another game where Serral is on the ropes for like 10 plus minutes. And he just refuses to die. You know, it's kind of crazy because like, I always see people go, Zerg's overpowered. Like, look at this. You know, I think there's an actual argument that Zerg might be overpowered, but Serral's the only one capable of doing it. And it's kind of the same with Clem, right? When you watch Clem play, a lot of the time you go, well, Terran's clearly not fair. And I think that just reminds us once again that there are a handful of people at this game who are such disgusting freaks. They're just so skilled. And I think for Serral, there's always so many moments where this series got chaotic and you thought, oh, he's about to take a terrible fight, and he just pulls out. And how many, if you sub in pretty much any other player into so many of these situations in this game, and this was a 4-0, can you believe it? Almost any other player takes those bad fights. They go, I got to defend this hatchery. I have to hold my ground. Serral is just so elusive as a Zerg, an absolute legend. And Kua, he played a really good series. He made Serral sweat, but nonetheless, Serral goes to the grand finals. GG, well played. Utter domination despite a lot of adversity. And Serral punches his way out of the grave. At least 2 games in a row. This last game, I would argue, he was in a pretty bad spot as well. Hot damn. GG, well played.